Hey guys, in this video I got a book summary for you. So today we're going to be reviewing, or I'm going to be summarizing the book How Google Works. Here's the book. It's by Eric Schmidt and Jonathan Rosenberg. This is a great book. I would highly recommend reading it to anyone who wants to, know how Google works and know, the main principles behind how Google works. So in this video, I'm going to be distilling all the knowledge that I got from this book, and I'm going to be sharing my key takeaways. So just some quick info before we get into it. The book is written by Eric Schmidt and Jonathan Rosenberg. With It's also written with Alan Eagle, and it has a foreword by Larry Page. So if you don't know, Larry Page and Sergey Brin are the co-founders of Google. But who are Eric Schmidt and Jonathan Rosenberg? Eric Schmidt is the former CEO and executive chairman of Google. Here he is. That's the guy, Eric Schmidt. And the other author is Jonathan Rosenberg, who is the former senior vice president of products at Google. And here is he. This is Jonathan Rosenberg. So these are the two main authors of this book. And, all the learnings they have attained over the years, it's just been compounded and, drenched into this book. That's why I highly recommend reading this book. It's full of such insightful advice in how to run a company and how to optimize your processes, how to focus on users, how to innovate, all that good stuff. So I would highly recommend reading this book. But in today's video, I'm going to be sharing the three main ideas that I derived from this book. And those ideas are user obsession, innovation, and smart creatives. Let's get right in. User obsession. You know, if you think about Google products, they are really, really optimized to help you do what you need to do, and they're really optimized to help you accomplish what you need to do. And this is a direct result of Google and its employees being so focused and so obsessed on users and adding value to users' lives. There was this one example in the book where I think they were debating whether they should add this particular feature. So they asked themselves, does this feature add value to the user? And it actually turned out that the feature didn't add value to the user. It was mainly to increase revenue. So they went through this thought process, and eventually they didn't end up implementing the feature because it didn't add value to the customer. And that's the main driver behind all of Google's decisions, and all the people working at Google is, does this feature add value to the user? If it doesn't add value to the user, don't do it. The next main idea is innovation or thinking big. And these two are pretty separate ideas, but they're actually really connected. Innovating and bringing new ideas into the present, and implementing them and delivering them to customers, and also thinking big. To innovate, you need to think big. You need to think outside the box. I know that's cliche, but you need to think. What do users want? What might a user like? What feature would a user want which could benefit them, which could improve their life? And Google has a couple of things, a couple of processes that help employees and help us to innovate. The first point is 20% projects. So Google allows all of its employees to work on these 20% projects. These 20% projects are projects where employees get to dedicate 20% of their time to these 20% projects. And these 20% projects don't have to be related to what they're doing on a day-to-day basis at the company. This allows employees to work on projects which they think will add value to the company, but they don't have to be related to what they're doing on a day-to-day basis. So it allows employees to expand, and it's a great way to generate ideas, to pool ideas, and to allow employees um, to like get all their ideas and be able to actually implement their own ideas, which they think will add value to the company. So these 20% projects are a really good method to foster innovation. Another key aspect is asking yourself, what does the future hold? What does the future look like in 5 to 10 years? What is the main product that will be driving success and driving innovation. So you need to look into the future, bring those ideas to the present, and then work towards implementing them. So that's the question: what does the next 5 or 10 years look like? You need to always be asking yourself that. And in this book, um, the authors actually did dive into some of the things that they thought would be impressive in the future. And one of the things that I remember reading is machine learning. So that makes me happy because I'm also into machine learning and artificial intelligence. So that's one of the things they said that it's going to be really big, and that's one of the things that they said would would drive a lot of the innovation and would be the main focus in 5 to 10 years. And you know what? They were right. Everything is all about AI and machine learning and deep learning these days. All right. The next point is focusing on solving problems. This ties back to the customer obsession, user obsession. You always want to be solving problems that um, actually add value to the customer, to the user. You always want to be investing your time in these projects which actually have benefit and have meaning. The next point is to set almost unattainable goals. This is interesting because it doesn't set unattainable goals. It says set almost unattainable goals. The problem with setting unattainable goals, like completely unattainable goals, is that you won't have a clear path towards them and you might just be wasting your time when there's actually problems that can be solved today that will actually benefit users today. So there's no point, thinking about how do we implement teleportation now. That's a while away. That's a long time away. Instead, you can be thinking, you could be thinking about machine learning, artificial intelligence, because those are areas where customers, users can actually benefit from them today because we have the infrastructure for that, and you need to be thinking about problems surrounding those. So, coming back to setting almost unattainable goals, you want to be setting goals that can be achieved, but might be technically difficult to achieve. So, like mm, implementing a new model or a chat interface, it might be a lofty goal. It might, you want to create a model that beats ChatGPT. It might be a lofty goal, but it's not unattainable. I mean, for an individual, it's probably unattainable, but for a company like Google, it's not unattainable. Because you need a lot of resources and compute to build these models. So it's not completely unattainable. It's a technically difficult goal, but it's not unattainable. So those are the goals you want to set. You want to set goals that are challenging, that are meaningful, and that actually benefit the user. One of the definitions that I came across in this book is called a technical insight. So, a technical insight is a new way of applying technology or design that either drives down the cost or increases the functions and usability of the product by a significant factor. Now, the reason I put this here under innovation is because technical insights should drive all your decisions, plans, and strategies. They should be the basis of all your decisions. And that helps foster innovation because when your decisions are based on technical insights, you're basing your decisions on, facts, the facts, what's actually working, you know, what's some new technology that we can implement to actually solve a problem and innovate further. What's the next thing? It has to be based on technical insights. It has to be based on research, analysis, all those sorts of things. You need to base your decisions off that. Now, I'm not saying don't follow your gut, don't follow your intuition. It's very important to follow your intuition, but you need to balance how much you depend on intuition. So there's kind of two parts to the spectrum, two ends of the spectrum. You can either fully trust your gut, fully trust your intuition, and completely disregard technical insights, or you can just fully analyze, get all the numbers, get all that data, and just disregard your intuition. Just disregard what your heart is telling you. And this side of the spectrum, you're probably going to be succumbing to analysis paralysis, where you're just like too deep in the numbers, where you're not actually getting decisions done. So what you want to do is you want to find the middle ground. You want to trust your intuition, but also rely on technical insights and ground your decisions in technical insights so that you can innovate better and innovate faster. The final point is about smart creatives. Now, smart creatives are the people in the company that are actually at the forefront of the technology. They are the ones who understand the system. They are the ones who know what's happening. They are the ones who's coordinating everything. And Google places a high value on smart creatives. So the four key qualities of smart creatives, according to this book, are leadership, role-related knowledge, general cognitive ability, and googliness. Okay, let's go to the first point, leadership. Leadership is, the ability to get a team going, to, inspire them, to motivate them, to get this project done, to accomplish a particular mission, a particular goal. And that's a quality that smart creatives need to have. A second quality is role-related knowledge. Smart creatives need to be domain experts. They need to be experts in their fields. They need to be able to teach that knowledge. That's also really important. The ability to transfer knowledge. I read a quote in this book by Bill Gates. Actually, I think it went along the lines of power comes from knowledge shared, not knowledge kept. So you want to be able to transfer your knowledge because sharing knowledge is the best. It's the best feeling, honestly. Sharing knowledge, and that's actually a way you can prove to yourself that you truly understand those concepts by sharing and teaching it to someone else. So smart creatives need to have role-related knowledge. The third point is general cognitive ability. This relates to problem solving, analysis. How do you tackle a challenge? How do you tackle a new problem that you've never seen before? What's your process? What's your thinking process? How do you deal with the situation? That's general cognitive ability. And the final point is googliness. So googliness is something that Google looks for in candidates. So it's like, what makes you unique, and what are your strengths in dealing with ambiguity? Do you have a bias to action, and do you have a collaborative nature? So comfort with ambiguity is being okay with not knowing all the answers immediately. So you need to be comfortable with you know not knowing all the answers to all the questions that you might have with regard to a particular challenge, but going forward anyways and trusting that along the way you get these answers. And it's always important to not be paralyzed by the lack of knowledge you might have. And this is especially true with like software engineering projects that you might do. And I know I'm going into specific domain, but this is just from my experience. You need to be comfortable with not knowing exactly how you'll implement this project. You need to be comfortable with knowing that, okay, I might not know everything that I have to do, but I can learn it along the way. I can gather new skills, implement them in this project to eventually bring it to fruition. So it's not about knowing everything at a particular moment. It's about having that hunger, that desire to gain new knowledge, to expand your perspective, and to just push forward even though you don't know all the answers. You also need to have a bias to action. Execute, execute, execute. There's no point in creating a plan, having a strategy if you don't execute on that plan. You need to have the determination, the focus, the vision, the drive to execute your plan. So that's what Google looks for, a bias to action. And the final point is collaborative nature. When you're a smart creative, when you have all this domain expertise, there's no point in being a one man team. The most power and the most efficiency can be derived when you share this knowledge, when you're able to coordinate a team, and when you're able to work with other individuals who are probably smarter than you. So, uh, yeah, those are the main qualities of smart creatives: leadership, role related knowledge, general cognitive ability, and googliness. Yeah, so that's about it for this book, How Google Works. It's a great book. I would highly recommend reading it. How Google Works is the book. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's it for this summary. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Peace.